The year is 476 AD. A young emperor, barely a man, sits on the throne of the Western Roman Empire. His name is Romulus Augustulus. His reign will be short. It will also be the last. This is the story of how a mighty empire, a civilization that spanned centuries and continents, crumbled into dust. The fall of the Western Roman Empire is one of the most significant events in human history. It marked the end of an era, the close of a chapter that had lasted for over 1,000 years. It is a story of power, ambition, intrigue, and ultimately decline. Rome, once a small city-state in Italy, had grown to encompass vast territories around the Mediterranean Sea. Its legions were unmatched, its emperors worshipped as gods, its culture admired and imitated. But even giants can fall. At its peak, the Roman Empire was a sight to behold. From the misty shores of Britain to the sun-drenched sands of North Africa, its reach was vast. Its legions, disciplined and ruthless, marched across continents, conquering all who dared to resist. Roman law and administration were renowned for their efficiency. Magnificent cities, adorned with temples, baths, and amphitheaters, rose across the empire. Rome's engineers built roads and aqueducts that stood the test of time, marvels of engineering that still inspire awe today. The Roman Empire was a melting pot of cultures, languages, and religions. It was a center of trade and commerce, its ships laden with goods from the farthest corners of the known world. This was Rome in its prime, powerful, prosperous, and seemingly invincible. But beneath the surface of this glittering facade, cracks were beginning to appear. The empire, vast and sprawling, was becoming increasingly difficult to manage. Corruption was rife, eating away at the empire's institutions like a disease. Succession crises became common, with emperors often meeting violent ends. The legions, once the backbone of the empire, became increasingly loyal to their generals, not to Rome. On the frontiers, restless barbarian tribes, driven by pressure from the east and lured by the riches of the empire, began to test Rome's defenses. The empire was facing enemies both within and without. The seeds of its destruction were being sown. The once mighty Roman Empire was beginning to crumble under its own weight. Section 4. The Barbarian Tide Invasions and the Fall of the West. The 4th and 5th centuries AD saw a surge in barbarian migrations and invasions. Waves of Goths, Vandals, and Huns, pushed by forces beyond Rome's control, crashed against the empire's borders. The Roman legions, weakened by internal strife and corruption, found it increasingly difficult to hold back the tide. In 410 AD, the unthinkable happened. Rome itself was sacked by the Visigoths under Alaric. The empire, already reeling from internal divisions, was dealt a blow from which it would never truly recover. City after city fell to the invaders. The Western Roman Empire was shrinking, its power waning. By the middle of the 5th century, the Western Roman Empire was a shadow of its former self. It was a patchwork of squabbling kingdoms, ruled by puppet emperors, controlled by barbarian generals. The stage was set for the final act in this epic drama. Section 5. The legacy of Rome echoes in the sands of time. In 476 AD, the final blow fell. Odoacer, a barbarian general of uncertain origin, deposed the last Western Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus. The young emperor, a mere figurehead, was allowed to live, but the Western Roman Empire was no more. The fall of the Western Roman Empire was a momentous event. It marked the beginning of the Middle Ages, a period of profound change and upheaval in Europe. Yet Rome did not disappear entirely. Its legacy lived on in its laws, its language, its architecture, and its culture. The Roman Empire may have fallen, but its influence can still be felt today. It is a reminder that even the mightiest empires are not invincible, and that all civilizations, no matter how great, are ultimately transient.